G'day Internet, welcome to Stick Ninjas, Devlog episode 31. My name is Andrew Russell. And you might be wondering why last week I didn't post the promised episode of Let's Examine. As it turns out, I ran out of time to film it. And that's because last week it was my birthday. Check it out. Cakeosaurus in 3D. Oh wow, that's so cool. And if you remember from the same time last year, when it's my birthday, it's also my girlfriend's birthday, and it's also our anniversary. So yeah, that's as extremely cute as that sounds, very romantic. As well, this year we also participated in the International Zouk Flashmob at the same time, which is a Latin dance. One of the things that I do in my social life, I guess, is Latin dancing. Normally I do a lot of social dancing, but this was the first time I've learned a choreography, so it was a lot of fun to dance with in a big group doing the same dance, just out in the middle of South Bank, which is our sort of big central park thing in Brisbane, and yeah, that was loads of fun. I will put links to some of the videos of that in the video description. If you want to look for me, I'm wearing a bright blue shirt, but unfortunately we were right on the edge of the group at the back corner, so we're not actually in a lot of the videos, which is a bit unfortunate. But if I see any videos with us in it, I'll post those onto Twitter, so follow me on Twitter. Anyway, so that was loads of fun. That was a really fun week for me, but not so conducive to posting a Let's Examine video and working on Stick Ninjas as well. I just ran out of time, but that's okay. I have been working on the Let's Examine video, and I've sort of discovered that it does take a little while to produce. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the schedule from every 2 weeks to every 4 weeks. So in between every second devlog episode, I'll post one of those. So technically that means I'm still on schedule, so that's all right. Anyway, so look forward to that next week. Anyway, so on with the devlog. So where we left off last episode, I was demonstrating the initial work on adding a lag buffer on the server side, and that is basically to smooth out the temporal jitter in the incoming stream of input packets coming into the server. So last episode I had added the timing system for this, and now I've added the lag buffer itself. So here's a video of last episode with the fail client, and this is basically a client that has a 2-second ping and 50% packet loss, and the idea of this is basically to test the system to failure. And so here's the same client running on the new system, and as you can see, it's still not perfect, but it's actually considerably better than it was. And pretty much all the problems that are left are due to unavoidable packet loss issues. They're not caused by any sort of jitter. So if I use a client with more reasonable packet loss settings, this actually really helps keep the client and the server in sync with sort of their views on what the world state should be. And you can really see this if I take it into the graphing tool. So I've added a toggle for this lag buffer setting, and you can see that this is with the setting disabled, and you can see that the client and the server have slightly different ideas about where the player should be at each point in time, whereas if I turn on the server-side lag buffer, then the client and the server views of the world match perfectly, and this works in pretty much most of the cases where the client and the server get out of sync. I mentioned last episode that the other problem is quantization issues, which is basically when the server sends a value to the client, it actually strips off a bit of the precision in order to compress it down to network packet sizes, so it fits across the network. And that loss in precision can be the difference between a player sort of hitting the top of a platform and sort of hitting the side. If they're coming towards the corner, you can get different results due to that precision loss. And then basically what happens is the client predicts off in one direction, whereas the server actually goes off in a different direction. And then when the client finally gets the correct value, it will then jump across. So that's one of the major causes of sort of the player stuttering around left to solve. So I'm working on fixing that, but that's still a work in progress. So hopefully I'll be able to show you some of that work next episode. Anyway, so that's everything that I have to show you for this episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. Next week, check out Let's Examine Kerbal Space Program, which, all things going well, that'll get posted this time. So anyway, you can follow my blog at andrewrussell.net, and you can follow me on Twitter at _AndrewRussell. And as usual, go to stickninjas.com and sign up to get a notification when Stick Ninjas is available for playable pre-order. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.